Hello, this is Scott Burke of Scott Burke Hypnotherapy and Sports Hypnosis. This particular podcast, I want to give my thoughts on how to find a reputable professional, in this case to do with hypnotherapy. But I guess it can also apply to many other things as well, whether it be finding a driving instructor or a golf coach or whatever. Now, I really don't want this to be sounding like a promotion for myself, which is never easy because I can only talk about what I know. But here's the basics. When looking for a professional, I would say the number one recommendation is word of mouth. Now, it used to be the case you pick up a directory, Yellow Pages or something similar, and you would go to the hypnotherapist section and you would see a whole host of hypnotherapists, different size adverts, and let's be honest, you couldn't really tell which ones were good and which ones are not so good. So word of mouth is the first thing I would recommend. Now, also take into consideration the source of the word of mouth. To be really blunt, if the source is a bit grumpy, a bit negative, that's possibly the vibe you're going to get. But at the same time, you might also get somebody who has no problems in life. Everybody is wonderful. So you're kind of looking for feedback from people who are quite similar to yourself wherever possible. Then there's also things like testimonials. Now again, same principle. When reading through the testimonials, consider the person writing the testimonial in the first place. Some people out there, you've heard the expression, trolls, they're never happy about anything and they seem to get a kick out of kicking people when they're down. So I would say you're looking for testimonials from say 2 or 3 people. Not all of them might be positive, but take that into consideration as well. Don't just pick the bad one and think, well, this person's not very good. Consider all the testimonials as well. If at all possible, if you can speak to the hypnotherapist and get a feel for them, build rapport, fantastic. Is that easy? No, because at the same time, you want to be finding somebody who's busy and has lots of clients to see for the right reasons. So it might be the case that when you phone up the hypnotherapist, you don't get a chance to speak to them right away. You might get a receptionist, you might get an answer machine, but don't allow those things to put you off, particularly the answer machine one. Now, as much as possible, I try to take my calls, but most hypnotherapists are sole traders, they're self-employed. So don't be put off if you get put onto an answer machine. It might just be they're seeing a client, they can't answer the phone when obviously they're working with someone as well. As far as everything else is concerned, the bottom line is, with whatever professional you go to see, you have to go in with intent. You have to go in with intent that you're going to take it seriously. If the hypnotherapist says you need X number of sessions, you're going to need X number of sessions. Please don't go into it thinking, I'll try one and see how I get on. Doesn't help you, doesn't help the professional as well. Because most reputable hypnotherapists, they want you to succeed, they want you to do well. Put yourself in their position. You're putting your trust in them, and somebody who's reputable will appreciate that. Final thing, while it's fresh in my mind, another factor as well, is where does the hypnotherapist work from? Now, speaking for myself at this time of this recording, I have my own office, I have my own practice, have done so for many years. Has it always been that way? No, of course not. So, don't judge the book by the cover is what I'm saying. If somebody works from home and they are good, it's not the building that makes them good, it's the fact that they are good. Some people do work from home. It does maybe keep the costs down as well. In some locations, rent and rates are extortionate and they would have to pass the cost on to you. So if somebody works from home, that's fine. Don't let that be a deciding factor. It's the hypnotherapist that you're working with. It's not the room, it's not the table and chairs. of course you'd like to think they're working from somewhere which is reasonably quiet and private. And it goes without saying that a reputable hypnotherapist will go out of the way to do the best they can to make that happen. So a lot of hypnotherapists who are just starting out may do, home visits. They might be working from home as they sort of build and build and build. But the final part is you might have a hypnotherapist who's maybe been in the trade, for want of a phrase, for say 3 years. And you might have somebody else who's been in it for 20 years. But you might find that the person who's done it for 20 years has done year 1 20 times, whereas the one who's been doing this for 3 years has always evolved their work. So I hope all this has made sense. This is not about bigging myself up. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments section. And remember to like and subscribe. Bye for now.